Namaste. Magic Croix here. Hope you're having a good start to your week. And I wanted to bring this video forth. It's one that, like I said, got lost in the archives. The title of it is When You Hire a Spiritual Worker. Okay. This video is old. It is approximately now six years old. 2016, I had just started my hair journey, like a year prior to that. And so this one is expectations. The expectations you should have when hiring a spiritual worker, an occultist, a root worker, a voodoo sant, anyone who does spiritual services for hire. These are some of the things that you should be aware of. These are some of the things that you should pay attention to. All right. I know I got a lot of colleagues, and I know some of my colleagues, if you don't listen the first time, they're out of there. So you just wasted your money. I don't believe in doing that myself because I believe in giving people chances. And I know how to reset people's expectations about certain things. You know what I'm saying? So this video, again, is from the archives called When You Hire a Spiritual Worker. Okay. It's not very long. It's about 17 minutes long. But again, this is one of those videos that once I saw it and I checked the analytics, I'm like, wow, okay, this one truly got buried. So without further ado, here is When You Hire a Spiritual Worker. Hope you enjoy. Peace. Namaste. Welcome and greetings. I am Magick Croix. It's gonna stop a virus. No. This
got y'all listening now. Some witchcraft for that ass. Too late to turn away. Abracadabra and all that good shit. Yo. Hocus pocus, got you focused on my rhyme. Simply easy, now I'm eating couch potatoes, I recline. No, I'm joking as I'm toking power puffs at Pokeyokes. Till my town and villa filled with ganja smoke, you know the dope. Coming out my pipes, talking about the bones in my throat. With the mic, I'm casting curses every night, you know the scope. Got my spells handy. You may call it the phone, but when I'm done reciting, you'll give me the keys to the throne. Then I take my keys to go home. Didn't say I was done. While rush to end it all, it feels amazing to have won. I'm not planning to ball, but why not take the chance to stunt? No, I don't need it all. Can think for thing I don't want. Do I worship the sun, or sold my soul for the tongue, or death since I was young, or got some voodoo?
Greetings, brothers and sisters, and welcome to another Magical Choir production brought to you by the Magical Elite Supply Shop, where we service all of your witchy and occult needs. Thanks again for tuning in, and the title of this one is going to be Listen to Your Worker. Okay. Now, I feel like this needs to be said because a lot of people are not following protocol. If you hire an occultist to do work for you, there's still work that probably needs to be done on your part as well. I go to the analogy of when a guy who wanted to win the lottery kept praying to God, I want to win the lottery, I want to win the lottery, I want to win the lottery. God seemingly didn't answer his prayer, and then he was like, God, why are you not listening to me? And then God replied, help me out, at least buy a ticket. This is what I'm saying. If you get the point, listen to the person that you've hired. When you go to a therapist, when you go to a marriage counselor, or anything that deals with bettering yourself or bettering your situation, you ought to take heed to what they're telling you. Too many people out here are hiring occultists and then not following directions or following guidance, then they want to claim that the magic doesn't work. No, magic does work. If you're not following directions, then guess what's going to happen? You're going to have limited results. Okay. You can't, you got to be realistic. And also, you can't just sit back and just let stuff happen for the most part. Like, if you hire someone for love working, okay, don't assume the person is just going to become so obsessed with you and just, oh, I got to have you, and just start texting you, start calling you. You can also reach out to the person and say, hey, how you doing? You know, anything. It's not just going to sit there and just happen for you. You got to put in a little bit of work also. There's a lot of people who are not understanding that. Remember when I said an occultist is a scientist? We have to sort of be therapists also, because we have to listen to your problems, weigh it, see what needs to be done, and then act accordingly. Now, if we give you some kind of advice, please, this is what you hire us for. Follow the advice. Like I said, too many people are hiring workers and then trying to sit back and just expect miraculous results. It doesn't happen that way. I mean, there are a few instances where you can sit back and let the magic happen. But for the most part, follow what your worker tells you to do. And I feel I need to address this about changing someone's mind about you, because I'm getting way too many requests for love workings where people are not being realistic. You have to be realistic. Alright, for instance, nobody is going to cast a spell for you to meet Janet Jackson, and Janet Jackson don't know you fucking exist. Yes, I actually had someone come and ask me that. I want a spell for Janet Jackson to fall deeply in love with me. Dora pause. Let me take my glasses off for this. See the eyes on my shirt? That's how I looked at that person. Like, you can't be serious. Number one, she don't know you exist. Number two, she's a superstar. How you gonna get close to her? You don't run in her circles. That's just being unrealistic. Magic can help better your lives, but it can't solve all of your problems. You know what I'm saying? People come to magic because they think it's gonna make everything better, and the world is going to fall at their feet. Women and men going to throw their drawers at them, and gold is going to fall out the sky, and unicorns and rainbows and all this dumb shit. Alright, so you got to be realistic about it. Magic can better your life and improve it and help you take better control of it, but be realistic about your expectations. If someone hates you, you're in a relationship, someone actually steps off, and they come to, okay, there was a love once there, and now they hate you. Why do they hate you all of a sudden? It wasn't all of a sudden. Are you being physically abusive, mentally abusive, and then you want to force them back? You can get them back for a time, and it's going to take a lot of work to do that. But ultimately, their spirit knows something is wrong. They don't want to be there. I've had to tell several people this. Like, if you do not have realistic expectations, unrealistic results is what you're going to get. Changing someone's mind, that's one of the hardest things to do. when it comes to magic. If, like I said, if someone hates you, what makes you think doing a couple spells is going to turn their mind around? You cannot, and this is so selfish when I'm seeing lately, you cannot change someone's core personality. And I've seen people like, oh, can we do this to, have him or her act like this? Like, seriously? This is not talking about anyone in particular. I'm just speaking in general because I'm seeing it a lot. In an age of I want it now, people are not willing to do research. People are not willing to study. People are not willing to read. So they don't understand the mechanics of what magic can do. Magic can actually be a wonderful and beneficial thing to your life, but just be realistic. You can, like I said, you can change someone's mind to an extent, and you can bring somebody back to you for a time. I would say at the most a year, maybe, if that. But if that person's spirit really does not want to be with you, your relationship is not even going to be the same. It's going to be all jacked up because you're forcing them to come back to you, and they don't want to. So there's only two ways that I know of, and I could be wrong. Now, I never said I know everything. I'll be the first to say that I still have a lot to learn. But there's only two ways that I know that's going to change or even have a slight possibility of changing someone's core personality. Number one, mesmerism. And that's very short. Number two, hypnotism, which means you have to go deep into somebody's subconscious mind in order for them to change their behavior. And who's going to put in that much work to try and do that to somebody, to have them conform and act to what you want them to do? That's got to be the most selfish shit I ever heard in my life. It can be done, but under extreme circumstances. And if that person, like I said, if that person doesn't want to be there, guess what? They eventually break that programming. Mind control programming, usually a person who's under mind control programming, let's take a famous celebrity for an example. You start to break mind control programming at the age of 40. That's when you start to break out of it. Eventually, your subconscious, your superconscious will break that down eventually. Michael Jackson is a perfect example. And I don't want to get too far off into this, but he's a perfect example. When he turned around 40, that's when his music started to become conscious. You take a look at it. He started to break down that program because he was programmed at a very early age. Like I said, hypnotism, mesmerism. Look it up. DeLawrence has books on hypnotism and mesmerism if you're interested. But if you're that interested, then ask yourself and be real. Like, do I want somebody who's just going to completely bend to my will? Is that love? Or is that obsession? If you're having a hard time getting over someone, the best thing that you can do is try and heal yourself. The heart is a muscle. It eventually heals. You can't tell me that there's no one else on this planet that's going to love you the way you deserve to be loved, and this person has stepped off, and you think that's the only person out of the billions of people that's on the earth. that's going to love you the way you want. So you got to do all this kind of magic and all this just for them to conform, and it's only going to be for a short time. I hate to tell you, I hate to break it down like that, but like I said before in my other videos, I'm completely honest. I'm not going to bullshit you like other people who's just out here to just scam you and take your money and defraud you. That's not what I'm here for. I'm here to pass off my experiences, because the ancestors have shown me that this is the time to do it. So our people, melanated people, are in dire straits and need this teaching. I'm only saying this, I'm only using like love work as an example. This can go into any area, money magic, or anything else. But follow the advice. Like when you go to a marriage counselor, the purpose of you going to a marriage counselor is to find out what was broken, what can be repaired, how do I fix it, and the counselor is there as a mediator. So is an occultist. This is why you should be truthful about every single thing that's going on. There have been too many times where people have hired me to do work, and then I find out later down the line either things were untrue or things that were just kept from me. It's only going to delay the working and frustrate you. Follow your worker's advice. Okay. Now, before I close up, I just wanted to put that out there. Before I close up, I have a few book recommendations. Okay. I finally broke down and bought this book, The Secret Source. Brother Bobby Hemmett endorses the book at least 3 or 4 lectures that I've heard of. It's a dynamite book on the law of attraction, sex magic, and Hermeticism, which is very important. Hermeticism is the basis of everything that you see now. Very good book. It's worth the money. My cheap ass couldn't find it on PDF, so I eventually just broke down. And I see why Brother Bobby Hemmett endorses this book so much. Get it. It's called The Secret Source. Jade. I don't know if this is occultist is I think it's a female. I think it's an Asian female, but there's not a lot online about her. The protection spells. Yeah, the protection spells and charms book. She has a couple other books, but this one is great. A lot of basics are covered in this book, and just rare knowledge, rare magical knowledge. Little known occultists, find this book. It's worth your while. Someone asked me about this in one of my recent videos, Moon Magic. Another book that Bobby Hemmett has endorsed time and time again. DJ Conway. Yeah, DJ Conway. Phases of the moon, what kind of magic you can, just using overall moon energy work. Great book. Worth the money. It's about $17. Moon Magic. DJ Conway. Last but not least, another great author. If you're interested in learning about shamanism, this is the author to get. Carlos Castaneda. Any of his books, you can see the shamanic side of magic and how it works. Don Juan is the main character. People say that this is actually Carlos himself, his alter ego, but I don't know. Endorsed by Deepak Chopra, if you know who he is. Just great magical techniques in the form, of course, of entertainment. people in the inner circles, they know the real deal. That's what this is about. I hope this video has been beneficial. In closing, I just want to also say, following your worker's advice can be beneficial to both y'all. Then the worker won't have to work so hard. Visit me, www. The Magical Elite Supply Shop for all your cult needs. It is in the description. I'm Magick Croix. I'm signing out. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.